Today we're going to talk about a very famous artist, Claude Monet. He's one of the best known artists in history and was one of the creators of a new style of art, Impressionism. Monet was born in 1840 in Paris, France. When he was 5 years old, his family moved to a port town in the north of France. He's meant to have been a good student at school, but he preferred being outdoors. He also started to enjoy art from an early age, especially drawing. His school books are filled with pictures of his friends and teachers. He became famous in his town for his drawings, and he drew many of the people who lived nearby. Eventually he met another local artist, someone who drew nature, not people. Drawing nature is called landscape, and Monet was to become one of the most famous landscape painters of all time. It was this local artist that introduced the young Monet to landscape painting. Monet wanted to try a career in art, and although his mother approved, his father didn't. His father wanted Monet to follow in his footsteps and go into business. Monet didn't listen to his father, and in 1859 he moved back to Paris to study art. He studied at an art academy here and met other artists. At this time, most people learned art by copying the great artists of the past. Monet saw people go to the Louvre Museum in Paris and copy the works of famous painters. Monet didn't like doing this, however. He preferred to be outside, painting the world around him. His first small success came with an art show in 1865. His paintings got some good reviews, but he still didn't have enough money to live on. A few years later, he married a girl called Camille, and they went to London to escape a war. While in London, he was accepted by his first art dealer, someone who buys and sells paintings. When he returned to France after the war, he formed a group of artists with a few of his friends. This group put on their own show, their own exhibition, in 1874. It was to be the turning point in Monet's life, and an important moment in the history of art. Monet showed a painting called Impression Sunrise, which was a painting of a port town covered in fog. What was new was that it wasn't trying to be an accurate picture of the town. It wasn't trying to be as realistic as possible, like art usually was at the time. At this art show, a critic was rude about their work and called the artists Impressionists, after the name of Monet's painting. The critics said that the work looked like it was unfinished. However, the group of friends didn't see this as an insult, and they actually started using the word impressionist themselves. They were trying to move away from the traditional style of art, which went for realism, towards something new, strong colours and emotion. In 1883, Monet moved with his new wife to just outside Paris. When he was here, he mostly painted what he saw in his gardens. In the gardens there was a large pond or lake. This pond was covered by a certain kind of flower, a water lily. Monet's paintings of his water lilies would become his most famous work. However, Monet himself wasn't satisfied with his work. He often destroyed paintings that he didn't like. He burnt or ripped up hundreds of his paintings. He was often depressed and thought his work wasn't very good. In later years, though, people would disagree. In fact, one of his paintings of water lilies has sold for more than £40 million, one of the top 20 most expensive pieces of art ever. Apart from his home near Paris, he also travelled to look for new things to paint. He went to London again and did some famous paintings of the River Thames and the Houses of Parliament. From 1883 to 1908, he also travelled to the south of France and other places around the Mediterranean, like Venice in Italy. He remained a successful painter until the end of his life. However, by the time of his death, art had moved on to newer things. Impressionism was being replaced by new styles of art and new artists, people like Picasso. In spite of this, Monet is still seen as one of the people who really changed the direction of art, and is seen as one of the great men in the history of Western art.